Well, Idaho certainly is not California, and we're going to be going over some of the differences in the homes and communities that you need to know about before you make the move here to Idaho. Hey everyone, if you're looking at moving to Idaho from California or even another state, but especially from California, and you're wondering what the differences are in the types of homes you're going to be getting here, we're going to be covering all that in detail so that you aren't surprised when you get here. I myself moved from California, from San Diego. People thought I was crazy moving from San Diego, and they always wondered why. And I was just like, well, it boils down to it's not California and all the craziness that's going on there. So I'm super happy that I made the move to Idaho, and I think you will be too if this is one of the states on the list that you're checking out. I also checked out a few other states, and I finally settled on Idaho for so many reasons. The beauty of the mountains here, access to the river, the more temperate 4 seasons. Don't get 4 seasons in San Diego, but you do get them here, but they're not as extreme as other places, and there's a lot less humidity here as compared to others. It's high desert, so it's fairly dry. That being said, there are a lot of things to know about the specific homes here in Idaho, and specifically the Boise Treasure Valley area. So real quick, my name is Curtis Chism. I am a local real estate agent. My team and I help people relocate to the Treasure Valley, and we would absolutely love to help you. We get calls and reach outs all the time from people just like you looking to make the move here to Boise Treasure Valley. So if that's you and you're thinking about making the move in the next 14 days, 90 days, or even 2 years, go ahead and reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure out what the lifestyle is that you're looking for, what you like to do, what your budget is, and we can start placing you in just the right neighborhood and town. I've got lots of videos that drop every week about the specific cities, neighborhoods, suburbs here in Boise, the types of homes you can get, pros and cons. So hit subscribe and hit like so you can get notified when those new videos come out. All right, let's dive into what are the differences in the types of homes and the communities that you're going to find here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area. Well, the first one up is going to be that there are a lot of HOAs here in the Boise Treasure Valley area. So what you're going to find is that any home built after the 1980s, kind of late 1980s on up, is going to be in an HOA. So what you're going to find is that these HOAs are typically not nearly as expensive as what you're going to find in California. You're looking at generally around $250 to $1,000 per year, not per month. So typically in California and San Diego, you're going to be finding HOAs usually around $300 to $500 per month. Here, that is per year. Most of them settle in around the $300 to $600 per year. And there's usually a fair amount included. Some communities won't have really a whole lot as far as amenities, but some will. Some are going to have, especially when you get into the more $600 a year range, you're going to be finding community pools, clubhouses, and big park open spaces and playgrounds. And also the big thing here is that a lot of them are actually going to include irrigation water to water your grass. So that's a really cool feature that you're certainly not going to find in California, is that most of your outdoor exterior watering is going to be taken care of by the HOA. Sometimes there is a small fee depending on where you're at. In Nampa, for instance, there is a small extra fee included from the city for that irrigation water. So this is runoff from all local farms that is feeding your irrigation water. So you definitely do not want to drink that water, but it is safe to use for your lawn and your trees and plants. So that's really cool. It really keeps your water bill significantly lower than what you're going to find in California. Now, touching on grass as well, you are going to find mostly real grass lawns here in Idaho. You're not going to find a whole lot of artificial turf and xeriscaping that you're going to find in California, and that's because the water is so much cheaper here. Water is so plentiful. We have lots of rivers and lakes here in Idaho, and of course these are watering the farms, so they're repurposing it. So you are going to find a lot of real grass here. Now, because of that, you're not going to find a lot of artificial turf. Of course, artificial turf is going to be more expensive, but a lot less maintenance required as well. So you are going to find a lot of that grass, and you are going to find, depending on the home, oftentimes a lot of people will just do grass in the entire backyard and kind of skip the whole landscaping process. And so some of these newer construction homes may only have a small 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 concrete patio and the rest will be grass. So if you've got kids and they just want to play outside and that's all you intend to use that backyard for, that can be fine. But if you want to entertain and actually use your concrete patio for entertainment, you're going to want to look for a home that either has that already or be prepared to put that in. I actually put one in myself in my home because it just came with a 10 by 10 concrete patio. It was a new construction home and I had to do the back landscaping myself. So I ripped that out and put in a much larger patio because I'm from San Diego and I love being outdoors and entertaining. And being that it is 4 seasons here, of course, we won't be outside all year round. It does get cold, it does get hot, but there is a sweet spot in the spring and summer and fall where you can entertain outdoors. Now, the other thing that you're not going to find so often here in the Boise, Treasure Valley area are pools in your home, in your backyard. You are going to find a lot of community pools, and the reason for this is that it does get cold, it does freeze here, so you have to winterize your pool and it becomes a big hassle. So a lot of people just end up opting for using either the community pool in their HOA or a rec center pool as well. There are a number of rec center pools here that are indoors or that are also outdoors, but they're maintained by the community. Sometimes there's a nominal fee to use those as being a resident, but it's a much simpler way to avoid all the maintenance costs that come with pools and just go ahead and use the community pool. So that's typically what most people do, but we are starting to see more pools being installed here, of course, with folks coming from California and wanting the pool for those hot summer months, because it does get really hot here in Idaho. It can reach into the hundreds. In fact, just this last about 8 weeks, it was over 100 degrees almost every single day in the low 100s. So it is nice to have a pool for those times. A lot of people will install kind of those above ground pools as well, the big circular pools. So that's an option if you don't want to do an in-ground pool, but otherwise community pools are going to be the way to go. Now, the other thing you're going to find here is that most of the homes do not have gas dryers. So in California, you're typically going to have a gas dryer, not always, but typically. Here, it's actually quite rare. You're typically going to be getting an electric dryer. So I was a little surprised by that at first. Of course, being from California and knowing how high electrical bills can be, I was looking for a gas dryer. So I was actually surprised at the home that I was buying, and most homes actually are electric. But electricity is so much cheaper here because Idaho is running so much clean power through hydroelectric dams, and it's a very well managed grid. So your uptime on power is extremely high. At 99.9% of the time you have uptime on your power, and it's very inexpensive. Oftentimes you're going to be in the $70 to $100 a month range, even though you're running your AC all the time and you've got your electric dryer. And related to that too is ranges. You're going to find fewer gas ranges here as well. You're going to be finding mostly electric. It just depends on the home. So if that's really important to you, a gas range, then you just have to make sure that that home, of course, is going to have it. Now, some homes do have gas nearby that you can tap into and convert over, but not all. Especially on the new construction, they're pretty much going to be either you got your gas or you got your electric. So you just have to decide what you want and what you're okay with. If you're good with electric, if you prefer gas, it's just a preference either way. I prefer gas. My mom loves electric. I grew up on electric stoves, and but as an adult, I've always had a gas ranges, so we prefer that. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking for gas or electric ranges. Now, something that's a little bit different here as well is the type of foundations that the homes are typically built on. So most of the homes here are going to be built with a crawl space. So they're going to have a stem wall around the perimeter of the home, and then the house is going to be built directly on that. So they actually dig down a little bit. So typically they're going to dig down a little bit and put some perimeter stem wall foundations in and some center foundations. And then they're going to put the flooring subfloor directly on top of that. And then you have actually a controlled sealed space underneath your house. Now, those are typically then going to be vented off the sides, or actually what a lot of homes are doing now is they're actually ventilating it from inside, drawing conditioned air from inside your home into the crawl space and then venting out the top to maintain the balance. And what that's doing is providing a more energy efficient home. So the home that I live in actually has that as well. It's a little bit strange. There's a vent underneath the kitchen cabinet and it draws in air into the subfloor, into the crawl space. And then there's a pipe with a little fan that runs, you can't even hear it really, in the garage, and it vents out to control that temperature to just create a more energy efficient home. Now, of course, in California, you're gonna be built on crawl spaces, but you're also gonna be built on a lot of slab foundations. You're not gonna find a lot of slab foundations here. You're gonna find the crawl spaces, and that allows you to run wiring into the house, access the plumbing. So I actually prefer crawl spaces over slabs. Now, something else that's kind of unique you'll see a lot are rain chains in lieu of gutter downspouts. So this is oftentimes an upgrade on homes. You can go either way with these. The benefit is that it's just a way to allow water to kind of run down that chain and then head out. The problem is you can't direct the water away from the house quite as well. There was one home I saw recently where the chain was dropping directly into the driveway control joint, and it was directing water directly in that, which of course is going to cause some erosion, and it was causing some cracking on the driveway. So just keep an eye on that. Take a look at where the chain is directing water to. With a downspout, a true gutter downspout, you can add an extender and direct that water further away from the home so you don't cause any issues with the foundations. However, with a downspout in the winter, if it gets plugged up, if you get some leaves in there and water gets caught and then it freezes, it can expand and break that gutter. So you might have to end up replacing it. So it's a personal preference on what you like, the chain or the rain gutter. Something else you'll find in some of the homes here as well, which is a little bit interesting, and it's gonna be on more of the affordable homes and the CBH Hubble homes, not so much in the Toll Brother type homes, but you're gonna find these vents that are located directly above the bedroom doors in these homes. So what these vents are, it's part of the air conditioning system, and it allows for the return air of the air conditioning system to flow back into the main living room area where a return air vent is located. So this is done in lieu of running a return air vent into every bedroom. It basically makes it less expensive to build, therefore making the home more affordable. Now, of course, the downside is that there is going to be more sound transfer between the room and the hallway. So it's not great, but it is a way to make the home more affordable. But if you see those vents above the bedroom doors, that's what those are there for. Now, the size of the lots is the one last thing that can be a difference or maybe a surprise for you, depending on what you're thinking. So the size of the lots on many of these homes are going to be in the 6,000 to 10,000 square foot range. You can get larger lots, 1/3 acre, 1/2 acre, 1 acre, but you're going to be paying a premium for those. There's been so much building and construction going on in the Treasure Valley area that they've had to decrease the size of the lots to get more homes in. So if you're coming here thinking you're gonna buy 2 acres in the middle of Treasure Valley, in the middle of Meridian, for instance, or Eagle, probably not gonna happen. If you are, you're gonna be paying a lot of money for that. Most likely, if you're looking for acreage lots, you're gonna be going more rural, potentially into the foothills of Star or Eagle, or further out into the suburbs of Caldwell, Nampa, Cuna, where you can find that, but you are going to be paying quite a bit of money for that. So most of these homes are going to be in the 6,000 to 10,000 square foot lot. A lot of them kind of settle in right around 8,000 to 10,000. 6,000 is certainly on the low end, but that's something to keep in mind. So that's actually not that different from California, depending on where you're coming from. But just if you're thinking that you're going to be getting these massive size lots, you're not really going to be getting those. So that's an overview of the differences in the types of homes that you might be seeing when you're coming from California or another state here into Idaho. And I'm dropping videos all the time about pros and cons of living here, compare and contrast all the different neighborhoods, the different cities here in the Treasure Valley area. All videos about Eagle, Caldwell, Cuna, Middleton, Nampa, Meridian. So if that's of interest to you, hit subscribe to this channel so you can get notified whenever those new videos come out, and hit like. And here's the thing too, is you are looking to move to the Treasure Valley area, my team and I would absolutely love the opportunity to work with you. So you just gotta reach out to us, shoot me an email, text me, call me, and my team and I will meet with you via Zoom. Figure out what your lifestyle is and where you want to end up living. Every area of the Treasure Valley area is a little bit different. If you're looking to be close to the river, the Boise River, you're probably going to want to end up in Eagle or Boise itself, or maybe Meridian. But if you're looking for something that's more out in the country, surrounded by farm fields, but in nice, beautiful homes, Kuna, Nampa, Caldwell might be a better option for you. It just really depends on exactly what you're looking for. But when you reach out and we start chatting about what you're looking for, we can help direct you as far as the best area that's going to be perfect for you and your family when you're relocating here to the Treasure Valley area. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a fantastic day.